कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative.
Guys, this is actually the first live recording of Cyrus Says.
Yay.
So you, the audience, is a part of this historic event.
So anything that you do, any stunt that you pull off right now, it's going to go live.
Yeah.
It may also be the last live recording, so just enjoy it. Yeah.
So I should talk to the audio listeners also, no? We should describe where
We
we are.
don't care about the audio listeners anymore. Oh, sorry, Amit, I'm just kidding. We love them.
So just for the audio listeners, I'm talking to the audio listeners now. Guys, we are in this place called IFP Festival something in Goregaon.
Yeah,
And
it's a
there are
7-star
about,
hotel. It's very plush, lots of different colors.
Yes.
Malaika is going to do an item number in 5 minutes, which you're going to miss because it's only visual. And but hey, thanks for listening.
Yeah. And there are about 10,000 people in front of us.
25,000.
They just increased, they just walked in.
That's the beauty of audio.
People screaming outside on Andheri platform.
I know, right? So, welcome 25,000 people to this live recording.
See? Sounds like
Sounds
25.
like it.
Sounds like 25,000.
That's great.
We really are like the government. It's all planned, guys.
Okay, so we are going to now start our therapy session. Okay, first question for Akash. Why do you hate the government so much?
I know. I get.
One second, do you mean center? Do you mean state? Or do you mean individual states? Because there's a bit of confusion.
All governments.
Well, in Maharashtra, I still don't know who exactly is the chief minister. It's not even clear.
All governments.
True. And when you say hate the government, then you have to be more specific. Hate a particular party or hate a government?
You be specific. ना मेरे को क्यों force कर रहे हो?
You've confused me.
मैंने
Because
नाम नहीं
center में जो वो clear mandate है.
हाँ रहेगा भी अगले 50 साल तक. So
audience reaction.
But facts are facts.
They're too young to vote.
But it's a good point. I mean, a lot of people ask satirists, political commentators, why do you hate or why are you jealous of the government? Unfortunately, uncles like us or boomers, we were taught in a generation where standing up as a citizen, standing up as a satirist was asking questions to the government, asking questions to people who are in power. मरे हुए को क्या मारोगे? So there is no fun in asking questions or mocking. So, and I encourage you guys, trust me, there is very little satire in India. If you really want to understand what satire is, then watch the Jimmy Kimmels, watch the Stephen Colberts, and you'll understand what a developed democracy can allow in terms of satire and commentary and asking people, questions that matter. It used to be said that satire is the art of saying the forbidden without being bashed up for it. But then the governments have gotten smarter and they've gotten bulldozers at this point of time. So it doesn't work that much. But make no mistake, if you do not question people in power, ultimately the sledgehammer will fall on you. Don't think that the sledgehammer will fall somewhere else. Ultimately, it will fall on you. वो राहत इंदौरी साहब ने वो कह गए थे ना, it's a very famous line, जब आग लगेगी घर सबके ही जलेंगे क्योंकि यहाँ सिर्फ हमारा ही मकान थोड़ा ही ना है. So be very, very clear about it, at least to this small audience. Ask questions, ask uncomfortable questions. You may be facing a little bit of headwinds, but trust me, you'll be on the right side of history always, whichever the government that is.
So I want to ask you, why hasn't the sledgehammer fallen on you yet? Why haven't you been cancelled, Cyrus?
I have my own problems.
They're
I got organs are failing. I've got marriage, family, relatives, parking issues. But for me, there's a lady leaving already. It's like my wedding. She just walked out when I started talking. This is humiliating. I feel like I'm in Rajya Sabha. I have no power. She's walked, never to. At least say bye.
Now she's running.
Oh, she fell. No, okay. Thankfully.
She fell?
No.
How the government will fall? No. But coming back to the whole thing, I think the problem we're having is that we think of elections like underwear, basically, in a sense, like male underwear. Like we want to change it, but we don't change it. So nobody really does anything. So my biggest worry is that people are not dynamic enough as in the country to actually want change. They just accept. We have this accepting formula, a bit of what Akash is saying to take it forward. We don't want to protest. Look at the bloody pandemic. Everybody just wore the mask immediately. Everybody just agreed to everything. Everybody said lockdown, shut down, break down. I mean, it was just ridiculous. It was fascism.
Demonetization.
Okay, we want to list the whole. We can do half an hour of that, but I'm just saying that people are not questioning. Please question more. At least question. At least be that irritating guy who in class who asks questions all the time.
And the pandemic, they forgot.
Yeah.
Most importantly, they forgot all about it.
Exactly. You forget because the next thing happens and then you continue.
सर वैसे भी हमारे कंट्री में बहुत लोग हैं, कुछ लोगों को जाना पड़ता है. I mean कंट्री को एडवांस करना होगा. आजकल तो like right now only there's this news channels who were running like these debates on overpopulation, right? Where population density बहुत हो गया है cities में. I was doing a live Instagram live yesterday and we spoke about this on Cyrus Says also. You know, it's such an easy argument. Population बहुत ज़्यादा है. Nobody talks about wealth inequality, right? You know, the reason why people are coming to Bombay and Delhi is because of the inequality. Like they don't have opportunities in their towns.
Mumbai, they come for the roads experience. It's just fantastic.
Of course. अब वो coastal highway भी बन रहा है, so all the experiences.
Many cities within the city. Yeah.
But it's an interesting experiment. Let's just ask, how many people here think that India has a overpopulation problem? That this is what is stopping
Wait,
India?
she's come back. First, let's give her a hand.
Hello, hi. 25,000 people are cheering for you today. Please come.
Oh, only one person is talking. One will get the food for you.
So
sorry.
I'm very surprised that I'm just seeing a very few hands. I was expecting more hands to go up to say that population is a problem.
Overpopulation, is it a problem in India? No, there are.
Okay, there are a few more hands going up. So, and this is the political narrative that you will get to hear. The RSS recently made the comment also about how population needs to be balanced. But here is the fun fact. If you really go into and understand and read and see what is happening in Parliament, the government itself in Parliament has said that population in India is not a problem, is because we are very close to the replacement rate of 2.1. So ironically, if you look at the data that is there, and the government is saying it in Parliament, that we are not going to take any coercive measures as far as population control is concerned, is because we have done a good job. Honestly, successive governments have done a good job to bring population down. Only a few states in northern India are a little above the replacement rates. We are now in some areas going below the replacement rate. But you will see, on the other hand, this whole political game being playing on your insecurities. मुझे नौकरी नहीं मिल रही है क्योंकि population ज़्यादा है. ये नहीं कोई पूछेगा, अरे maybe I'm not getting a job, it's because job creation is not really happening. Because it's very easy to say, oh, too much population, what can we do? But officially, there is no shame in saying this. The government is saying no population problem.
But Akash, is the government also saying that population is not a problem as long as you vote for us? In that sense,
of course, that goes without saying.
We understand.
But do you think we have a population problem?
Parsi, so no.
Yeah,
but I agree completely. One, because he just speaks better. And secondly, frankly speaking, they've used this as an excuse all the time. People use this as an excuse. And after some time, you realize that, like you said, disparity in income and all, you have to address things. It's just the distribution of wealth is all over the place.
Yeah.
I want a communist India. I've been crying for that for the last... Okay, maybe no. I've drunk too much in the morning.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, इसका agenda तो वही है वैसे भी. So
no, but it's such an easy thing now. You just, like, we never have specifics. We say corrupt government. We say irritating person. You know, it's the specifics. For example, for me, I always talk on our podcast, which nobody wants to listen to, but I always talk about my specific problem, which is the sycophancy. I hate that about Indians. I hate that. And it's endemic to politicians. It's endemic to people working in this line, in the studios, in entertainment, in business. Everywhere we go, people just pow pado for no reason. It's just ridiculous. Stop calling people sir, especially women. Stop it, really. But I know it's a big problem because from there everything stems. The stupid VIP menace we have in South Mumbai, all the rubbish stems from them. They start building their own myths. They behave like rajas. Just diktats follow. Fascism is rampant after that, and then only Akash is left to fight.
This is exactly, yeah. So just to tell you, if you haven't heard Cyrus Says, this is exactly what happens on Cyrus Says. He goes on these weird rants.
This is the show.
Then you should call it Cyrus Rants.
Cyrus Rants, yeah, I know.
Cyrus Says again.
No, but I'm with some two notorious overtalkers, okay? Like, so he interrupts and overtalks, and he just plain overtalks on his Saturday
He's
night.
Bengali. He's not listening to you anyway.
That's also true. That's also very true. Okay, guys, I'm also contractually obligated to follow some format we have apparently. Nuclear takes, it seems. Okay. So, yeah, so I have to do some hot take type things, right? So, guys, okay, I had given some very interesting hot takes for this one, right? I had said Bollywood is full of cowards. Indian democracy is a farce. Organized religion is a scam. But they rejected all of it. Okay, they were like, no,
because
you are the
chief guests
moderator.
are from Bollywood, Baba. who are coming with the show.
And then like, no, you're the moderator. These people will give the hot takes. So hot take number 1 from Akash. Satire used to be the art of telling forbidden truths without getting beaten up. But the government brought in bulldozers. तुमने already दे दिया था वैसे वो hot take.
So this is something we are living by, we are seeing it. So ये hot take नहीं है, ये अगर देशभक्त चैनल का अगर हम definition बोलें तो यही है कि हमने ये सोचा था कि हम मस्ती में, मजाक में facts discuss करेंगे. But over the last 2-3 years, what we've discovered is facts से घंटा किसी को फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Nobody wants to know the facts. Very clear. So a lot of people say, but why are you saying all of this? I said, have we said anything wrong? Can you point out one episode that we got the whole data set wrong? वो तो हुआ नहीं. Now what has happened is, earlier it used to be, you are wrong, you are lying, you have an agenda. But India is changing. Now it is, हाँ ठीक है तुम ये सब बोल रहे हो, बोलने की क्या जरूरत है? कुछ पॉजिटिव बोलो, ये सब नेगेटिव चीजों के बारे में बात कर रहे हो, तुम्हें सहारा देना चाहिए, सपोर्ट देना चाहिए. So that is how it is changed. And of course, the sledgehammer that I wanted to bring out right in the beginning, and it's a bit of an alert for you guys also. The sledgehammer has started coming in. Earlier, it used to be support for the leader. Now it is that now it is that if you don't, then the bulldozer is going to come at you.
Oh, the leader is really short. But just to take that offline, he had told us, Akash and I were discussing, and he was explaining that he has to get the data right. To worry about the practicality of trying to be a comedian, satirist, whatever, is if he doesn't get the data right, he's screwed. So everything, he has to make sure the facts are there and they've got verification of what they're going to say on a particular subject with numbers, statistics, data, etc. So that now is real pain for people like me who are lazy and not hardworking. Because I thought you just make a comment and then just spew after that whatever you want to. That's what humor is. But that's gone out of the window. Now we got to be like statisticians. That's the scary part.
And the irony is that, as they say, comedians are doing journalism, journalists are doing the comedy.
And also the government is doing satire now.
Yeah.
So,
which government? Sir, Maharashtra क्या लगे अभी?
I don't mention names. पागल है क्या? मेरे को थोड़ी defamation case चाहिए.
Let me tell them that you come from Nagpur, so be very careful.
Yeah.
He's talking about
Yes.
the US government. He's talking about the US government.
Yeah, I do come from Nagpur and I have 3 defamation cases against me. So please let's not do this. Yeah. अभी पैसा नहीं है हमारे पास. Okay.
तब था. 3 cases later.
अभी भी नहीं है, तब भी नहीं था. Shit. What am I doing with life? So this is actually true. Our politicians are doing satire so much that it's become difficult for you guys to do satire.
Forget that. They're on Insta. Got to be a limit, यार. तू तो statesman है भाई. Status भी एक चीज है. Come on.
How do you write your show?
What show?
What show? Yeah, the show.
See, our show, luckily, as everybody here who's in this room knows, Akash knows, the comedy is there. We don't have to spin much. There's hardly any spinning to be done. I mean, every day there's something stupid.
So you tell the facts and it becomes satire.
So, but we don't do what he does, which is verify properly. So I'm not a little worried now. We just tell, because a lot of it is hearsay sometimes. People just put stories in, especially on the internet. Internet, if you pick up the story, there's no verification. The fastest finger first applies, right? So that's the big one.
The
I'm
funny
just going
thing
to
is,
go one step ahead on the spin bit and answer you. We don't have to spin. He has to spin. We don't even have to spin. I have episodes on
That's why he's funnier. Because it's funnier when you don't spin it. It's so funny sometimes.
Because I have episodes on episodes where I've just done quotes. That's it. I have just bunched quotes together and put it. It's got 1 million views. How am I going to survive? Because these guys are doing it much better than me. And I look at the newspaper, I'm like, yaar, ye to maine bhi nahi socha tha agar aisa comment main bana saku. I mean, and especially in the middle of COVID, the kind of stuff that we encountered.
No, but the funny thing is that his show, I think, is one of the only surviving show on TV news, which is technically making fun of the establishment.
Well, what we try to honestly do is try to look at the issue itself and not go into the personal space. It's so easy as a comedian to start making fun of everything. So we try to do that out of sheer fear. So please understand that every week we live in fear.
Yeah.
Anxiety, we take pills, we do drugs basically.
Yeah, of course. And then he comes every morning on Cyrus Says and then he just lets it all
I don't have to
out.
worry because I'm not the loose cannon. You've met these two, right?
Yeah.
This guy's the worst ever. He's got some 80,000 crores of defamation waiting for him.
But to do what he does on mainstream television, after Movers and Shakers, it's him. Otherwise, it's barren. And it is so sad. And it is also a commentary on our country that we as people and we as definitely as politicians can't take a joke. And he'll tell you about Jayalalitha's case. It was not that he said Jayalalitha is corrupt. It was something else, Cyrus.
Go on. Tell
It was
the story.
worse.
Or not. Where's my lawyer? Lots of work in Chennai. You got to be careful. Oh, right now they're not in power, so hey, you can say what you want. No, just kidding. But yeah, so what we wrote, going back to that incident, was Vishwarupam, if I remember correctly, Kamal Hassan's film. And there was a fight going on there about releasing that movie, etc. So it was purely, again, the issue. And then there was a Tamil, because of the Tamil issue not allowing the Sri Lankan cricketers in the IPL to come and play in Chennai. So that was the two issues that were ongoing. And in that, I think in the opening, there was slightly personal comment where Kunal, who plays possibly a person who resembles the then chief minister, and says a little bit about you've lost weight and says only 10 kilos. It was not really, wasn't that bad. But for some reason, and the fact is we're quite fans of her. As chief ministers go, she wasn't like she was one of the better ones. You know, I mean, she's done so much good work in the tsunami, etc. And I'd been there with an MTV team, so I'd seen it all. And the people just loved her at that point. To cut a long story short, but we had to then be very careful for the rest of our lives moment we cross the border of Karnataka.
You know, the interesting thing now is that, as I said, you know, the government is writing satire. Did you guys see that controversy about the Bharat Jodo Yatra that happened?
Which one? There's so many.
Which one also is a big question. But
About the outfit?
Funny thing, yes. The t-shirt controversy. Did you guys see it?
Yeah.
Do you guys see
But I prefer he wears the fancy shirt and pretends to be Garib. I think that's ridiculous, yaar.
For those of you South Bombay people who don't know what I'm talking
South
about.
Bombay! Burlington! What? Bennington? What is it?
Yeah, unaware South Bombay people, I'll tell you. So apparently there is this yatra happening, okay, which is Rahul Gandhi is going from
You never
Kanyakumari
explain
to
it in South
Kashmir.
Bombay language. Marathon ka jaisa, garib log ye karta hai, but not in nice shorts and not early morning. You got to explain it, then you'll understand. Yeah.
Yes. So there is this man called Rahul Gandhi, okay? He's walking he's walking from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, right? And he's like a young 50-year-old man, okay? Like, not very old.
But relatively, he is young.
Yeah.
Mr. Kharge at 93 is walking behind him.
Yeah, of course. And so he's walking around like, you know, as all politicians do. And he was wearing a white t-shirt. And it turns out he was wearing a Burberry t-shirt, right? Something, koi to bhi bas thoda sa 38,000 rupees ka sasta wala t-shirt. So then BJP IT cell basically took his photo, put another photo beside it with the Burberry t-shirt ka cost on it. And they said, Bharat, dekho. Right? कि कैसे ये rich t-shirt पहन के गरीबों के साथ चल रहा है type, you know, whatever. The thing is, it backfired very badly. Did you see, Akash?
So
The shirt sales went through the roof.
But also...
So this is the beauty of politicians, and that's why a lot of people say, "Acha, but tum sarkar se sawal puchte ho, then but you bash the Congress also," because it is so much free content. You can't
Exactly.
because you can't raise questions on Rahul Gandhi and then not have your Maybach car or your expensive sunglasses be questioned. That's very obvious. But look at the creativity with which, for the first time ever, I think the Congress is hitting back. Which I want to mention is the Pay CM campaign, where they took the Paytm ad, made it a Pay CM, and put the chief minister's face on the digital logo. And the government was completely they arrested a guy who was wearing that T-shirt.
Yeah.
That's where we are at this point of time. So, but creative.
But just think of the idea that when Rahul Gandhi came up with this idea in the meeting with all the congressmen, and he says, "Chalo, ye ek kaam karta hai. We'll walk from Kanyakumari to Kashmir." And Kamal Nath, Gehlot, and Kharge going, "What?" I mean, really? So he's happily, you know, he's all into fitness. You know, what happens to the rest? Yeah, it's a bit unfair.
Okay, so I need to take another hot take. You know, like nuclear takes. It's called nuclear takes. This one is by Cyrus. He says, "Is it too late for me to run for Congress president?"
Well, I just thought at one point everybody put their hat in the ring, and I thought it's anyway a selection, not an election. So what's the difference, right? I mean,
But do you want to run for Congress president?
I want to run the country. I think I'll do a great job.
But Congress पे बैठ के कैसे
At least
करोगे?
we'll be
The chances of me getting into Congress are easier than getting into. They already have a quarter party walking in front of everyone else. So I just thought there's a chance.
At least we'll be a happier nation for sure.
Of course.
We'll laugh a little bit.
Also, the BJP has this one stereotype which I'm not very comfortable with. They might be a slightly vegetarian party.
Right.
Yaar, lunch pe lunch, kya karega?
Right. Just like your show, they're also vegetarian.
Yes. Show is vegetarian. Yes. Show is pure Jain vegetarian. No garlic, no onions.
And how many for Cyrus as president?
Okay, yes. Yes.
And no walk shock, huh?
Yes.
If we are going to lose the elections, we can lose from where we are. We don't have to go all the way.
Okay, audio listeners, just to let you know, we are now starting a campaign right here and we will be walking out. Join us for a protest in where Carter Road जाते हैं ना यहाँ पे लोग?
On with burgers.
There is no place in this part of Mumbai to walk. Please don't talk rubbish. Any politician will be disappear into a manhole in 2 minutes once he exits here. Maybe it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good
All party Congress.
Okay, let's move to question and answer. I wanted to spend more time talking to you guys. So anybody has questions for the panelists
I mean,
and
honestly,
experts?
we sort of, I know this guy for eons anyways. Watch this guy. We can continue talking, but if you guys have questions, more than happy.
Yes,
I mean, it's
absolutely.
always good fun.
See,
If the question is, who are you? Please, that's not nice.
Follow us on Instagram at What Cyrus Says for the best bits from the show, memes, and much more. Okay, I'm just saying much more, but nothing dirty, I promise. Okay, well, I can't promise, but just follow and see for yourself, huh?
हेलो
Hi, can you get up and tell us your name?
हाँ मेरा नाम जय है और मैं नागपुर से ही हूँ
Represent! Woo! RSS! Woo!
मरेंगे
ऑडियो लिस्टर का क्या करेगा? ऑडियो लिस्टर का क्या करेगा?
This is audio.
मैं कुछ नहीं बोलने वाला हूँ.
Audio.
Handle it from here.
Go on.
नहीं तो सर आकाश सर बिग फैन
We don't use the word fan on DeshBhakt. Now you know.
I know.
नागपुर तमीज. आकाश सर बिग फैन है, हम दोनों कुछ नहीं. Straight away.
एक्चुअली मैंने आप दोनों को आकाश सर के थ्रू ही जाना है इसलिए
Wow,
So-
thanks आकाश. हम तो आपको लीच समझ रहे थे.
नहीं
यहाँ पे हम लीच बन
प्लान
गए.
क्या भाई? This is politics.
चीख के सबको प्लान बता दो.
सर, तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि आजकल जो इतनी नेगेटिविटी फैली हुई है नॉर्मली मतलब कोई भी पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में हो चाहे राइट हो चाहे लेफ्ट हो तो लोग बहुत नेगेटिव वे में लेते हैं कि आप क्यों पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. मैं पर्सनली फील करता हूँ कि पॉलिटिकल होना कोई बुरी बात नहीं है. आप पॉलिटिकल हो सकते हो बट आप वो नेगेटिविटी को कैसे फेस करो कि भाई जो लोग इतना नेगेटिव हो जाते हैं कि तुम बात ही मत करो, बस तुम कुछ भी मत पूछो भाई, तुम शांत होके बस बैठे रहो.
इतनी लंबी क्वेश्चन में नेगेटिव हो गया अभी.
So, मैं अपने एक्सपीरियंस से मैं बताना चाहूंगा. देखो ये होता था पहले बोला जाता था तुम गलत बोल रहे हो, तुम झूठ बोल रहे हो, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. आजकल बिल्कुल सही बात बोल रहे हो कि तुम नेगेटिव क्यों हो रहे हो, नेगेटिव बातें मत करो, चुप हो जाओ. आजकल तुम देख रहे हो कितनी नेगेटिविटी हो रही है हमारे देश के खिलाफ, कितनी नेगेटिविटी हो रही है. ये सारे फॉरेन प्रेस वाले भी हमारे खिलाफ मिल गए. सोचो राहुल गांधी इतना पावरफुल है कि उसने न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स, वॉशिंगटन पोस्ट, गार्जियन सबको हमारे खिलाफ कर दिया है. यार ये बात तो मैं समझना पड़ेगा कि कहीं ना कहीं थिंग्स आर नॉट गोइंग ओके. जहां तक इकोनॉमी की बात है, जहां तक जॉब्स की बात है, हमें बोला जाता है कि हमारी जीडीपी 6-7-8% बढ़ रही है. किससे बढ़ रही है? -7 से बढ़ रही है. तुम 3 साल का जीडीपी लगा के देखो, हम लोग वहीं फंसे हुए हैं. बट ये चीजें हमें समझ में नहीं आती हैं. तो होता क्या है कि देन दे डोंट हैव एन आंसर टू यू. देन दे विल से चुप बैठो, नेगेटिव मत बोलो, या तुम्हें गाली बकेंगे. आई वांट टू से टू ईच एंड एवरी पर्सन, वट एवर योर पोलिटिकल स्टैंड में भी. हमने देशभक्त में कभी भी 4 साल में किसी को ये नहीं बोला इसके लिए वोट करो, उसके लिए वोट मत करो. हम तो तफरी लेने बैठे हैं. वी आर वॉचिंग द शिट शो ऑनेस्टली, एंड इट इज अ शिट शो एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. बट बी वेरी क्लियर दैट अगर इफ एनीबडी इज अब्यूजिंग यू फॉर योर थॉट्स, that means you've already won the argument. I follow a very simple rule. अगर मुझे comment section पे गालियां मिल रही हैं, इसका मतलब है कि मैं सही हूं. क्योंकि अगर तुम्हारे पास और कुछ होता, you would have hit back with facts. You don't have facts. So my simple point is, if somebody is telling you shut up, don't be negative, that means he doesn't have any counter, he doesn't have any good news, and he wants you to stop talking about the truth. Don't shut up, be negative.
और अगर तारीफ हुआ तो तारीफ हुआ कमेंट सेक्शन में तो व्हाट डज दैट मीन? रिवर्स
फिर हार्ड कमेंट देना, थैंक यू बोलना.
Thank you. No, it's the situation is so ridiculous. So Parliament abhi hua na. So there were many important things that he mentioned, like price rise and so many issues to discuss. But you know what news channels were focusing on the first week of Parliament? Do you guys remember? No. Congress opposition leader, by mistake, when he was talking to reporters, he was like, I would like to ask the Rashtrapatni about this. And then they were like, इसने इसको राष्ट्रपत्नी बोला, तो एक वीक के लिए डिबेट चलाओ इस पे.
But the media also covered it, na, as the headliner.
Exactly.
Nobody mentioned the price problem or the communal issue or this or that or construction, whatever. That all went out of the window. Only this came up.
The media is brainwashing you. Make no mistake about it. I don't care what you think. You may support any political party. The media is here to tell you what you should not know. Make it absolutely clear. The media will not want to tell you about the things. You know, out of everybody, Chetan Bhagat said a very interesting thing. Chetan Bhagat, out of everybody.
But he put it beautifully. He said out of everybody.
I know. I mean,
This is called subtle humor, sir.
So I was just having a conversation with him. He said, "देख आकाश, मैंने जितना पैसा कमाना है कमा लिया है. तुम्हारा भी ठीक ठाक चल रहा है. तुम काट लोगे." But the younger generation is the one that should be really worried about where we are going in terms of opportunities. Younger generation should be really worried about. So make it a point that don't consume what is being fed to you via WhatsApp, via mainstream channels. Search out. Make your opinion. You might think that I am sold out to Pakistan. I don't care. But you should know who you want to follow, where you want to get your news source from. And trust me, there is tremendous amount of good journalism happening in the digital world. We are responsible that those organizations are not being able to grow or get money is because nobody is watching them. So don't blame mainstream channels. They are also feeding what people want to see.
After what he just said, I would like to compliment the organizers for coming up with such a great title for this, panel. Late stage capitalism: how the government uses mass manipulation techniques to destroy free will, take away civil liberties, and nobody is allowed to joke.
But they've not
it.
mentioned which government. That's the interesting part. Yeah.
Very interesting part. Organizers, well done.
Every government tries to do it. Some governments are able to do it better than others.
Not Russia.
The people there.
I think let them just ask the question of other time. We have Usain Bolt running with the mic.
तुम कपड़े देख के पहचानो ना.
She
क्या
can
कर रहे
pick
हो?
now. She can pick. She has free will now. You have free will. So you can pick now. It's fine.
Hi, Meghnad.
Yeah.
Hi, Akash. Hi, Cyrus.
Hi.
Okay. The guy sitting next to me was asking, who is he? I said, if you were born in 80s, you would have come to know. Cyrus.
He's the bap.
Yeah, he's the Bob.
Uncancelable.
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo.
That's my dad.
But it's so ironic. Just one line. There was an article recently in Mint, I think Shefali did it. Viral at 19, irrelevant at 21. That's how quickly things change in today's day and age.
Yeah, but now he's a legend.
I'm not changing my sex. Forget age.
Okay, so my question is, our great leader made some 2-3 funny statements and in front of intellectuals. Okay, first statement was the first head transplant happened in India when Shivji put elephant head, and
Yes.
second was mathematicians and anybody who has learned mathematics, a plus b the whole square is a square plus b square plus extra 2ab.
Yes.
Okay, that too in front of the crowd who we believe are educated, intellectual, and the reaction is claps. Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, why do you think that's happening?
Because all the people who will call him out are on Twitter. They're tweeting about it. They're not in his audience.
Yeah, but I mean, if I look at it, okay.
The biggest problem, I've been saying from the beginning, is sycophancy. Everywhere you go. So people start believing their own myth. Because even if he's getting the information right, the chamchas are going, wow, 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 kya baat hai, sir. So it's like when you're drunk, you drink more and you drink more. There's no end to it. So I'm saying, let's stop it right now, this sycophancy. Stop showing respect to anybody. In fact,
No, but
2 years of disrespect.
I'm imagining the situation of the audience sitting there, right, while this is
But
happening. Let's see.
Meghnad, these aren't the crimes of the politicians. These are just stupid moments. The crimes
No, it's not a crime.
are much deeper
course
and
it's not.
different.
But why does it sell then?
I'll tell you why it sells. Because we experience it. क्योंकि 4 साल से facts बोलने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. You think that extra 2AB and plastic surgery is, what is he saying, right? Although I always say is that why is it that after somebody has done the invention, we come and say, अरे ये तो हमने किया, अबे कुछ नया करके दिखा दो, तो उसमें कुछ नहीं मिलता है. But they are not talking to you, they are not talking to me, they are talking to their core constituency, and their core constituency, as Cyrus said, is clapping. Not only their followers or bhakts, their core constituency doesn't know right, wrong, logic. They are clapping. They are the people who will clap when say shank bajane se COVID chale jayega. And that same politician, by the way, got COVID also. But nothing happens. That is life. People, unless and until people hit back and say, what the hell are you doing? And you are talking about core constituency. Look at the drawing rooms today, even in bigger cities. People are watching that ever shit that is going on, right?
Although less. Akash,
They are watching.
The audacity of the country has come down a little bit.
It has. It has.
Does it?
Yeah, I feel there's less, but you never know. It may come back any moment now.
He'll get to work on it. He'll make sure
The
that it goes
nation
back.
might want to know. We
Yeah.
can't argue this.
Sushant Singh, 4 months. 4 months national media attention in the middle of the pandemic. What happened? Why is the CBI silent? 2 years. We
India's
all know the truth.
India's best fiction writer, no doubt.
It was a lovely
Told
story.
a narrative, spun a narrative, and kept it going. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the length of Ramayan.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, superbly done.
Let's take one from here now.
So hi. So audible clearly?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
She's
so my
not as loud and boisterous as
Never
we are.
interrupt a woman. See, this is really South Bombay and not South Bombay. We know how to respect ladies. Sorry, ma'am, you were saying.
मैं दिल्ली से हूँ.
Delhi, sir.
So my question really is that I've seen Akash, I've seen quite a lot of your videos. I've seen your videos also.
And
but
his
just-
reels.
No, I'm the leech now.
So just generally, like we just had the Navratri festival go away, and then there was so much that we heard about how the Muslim community was targeted if they tried to enter the Garba Fest. There was also news of people being tied, beaten up. There were certain. It was alleged that there were certain Muslim people who were also pelting stones, and then they were caught and they were beaten up, etc. When you try to focus on all of this news, I'm not aware if you've made videos on all of these news or not. But in the off chance, if you do get a chance to make an informative video of all of this, how do you try to make it a little light-hearted? That is one.
Like extremely serious issues, and how can you make them satirical?
Yeah, so that, you know, the people understand what you're trying to
Well,
say.
one thing you could do is try to do dandiya with stones. Your fingers will really take a beating then, you know. Just
Or
try.
do a dandiya while stones are coming
It's
in.
really difficult. By the way, I'm a pretty good dandiya guy.
Or do a dandiya on a bulldozer.
I can do my dandiya anytime. Sorry.
And the other question also is that, like we were just speaking about, there is a certain audience a few political parties try to capture, which is their audience. So no matter what you say, the audience is going to clap. Given the current scenario, when you're trying to tell news, when you're trying to talk about facts, etc., do you make an attempt to try to capture that audience also?
Yeah. Brilliant.
You can try.
Interesting.
You can try.
No, I don't. Let me just tell you my experience on that. It's a very. I'll answer the second question
part.
first, because I get that a lot. Anybody who is a commentator, a satirist, it's not my job to educate people. मैं अंग्रेज का white man burden लेके नहीं आया हूँ. तुम लोग you 3 गुना लगान. I will tell you what politics is. मैं बताऊंगा तुम लोग को. I think that era has gone. So first and foremost, you have to come. I don't enjoy sitting here, by the way. I would rather be sitting there in a group and having this conversation. But चलो numbers की बात है. So first and foremost, I say, and this is real, this is true. There is a certain constituency that whatever you do will not move, huh? So a lot of people say, अरे हमने तो उसको समझाने की कोशिश की, मैंने तो उसको बताने की कोशिश की, वो change नहीं हुआ. I said, why are you wasting your time? Because if there is this constituency, then there is some of this constituency, but there is a huge constituency that is in the middle that hasn't made up its mind or is open to changing its opinion. What we do very clearly is talk to this constituency that you are open to listening to critique of the Congress also sometimes, because मरे को मारते नहीं हम लोग ज़्यादा, and sometimes Aam Aadmi Party, sometimes Mamata Banerjee, but majority time people who are in power, because that is what anybody having a grain of honesty and satire in him will do. So what you should do, and everyone should do, is have a conversation with people who are not that hardcore that facts don't matter to them. And there are many people who say that तुम कुछ भी कह लो, मैं नहीं मानने वाला हूँ. I said मत मानो भाई, मैंने ठेका नहीं लेके रखा है. So to answer your question, there is a constituency that we try to address, which is able to shift, change its opinion. A smart man is a man who changes his opinion as the facts change. Talk to those people, and negativity, and how do we do an episode like that? Fortunately, the difference between, and a lot of people say, अच्छा तुम वही करते हो जो Cyrus करता है. I said, no. Cyrus is amazingly funny. I am not funny. So a lot of people say that, यार तुम sarcasm बहुत करते हो, लेकिन you are zero funny. I said, thank you for the compliment. Is because what Cyrus has is amazing sense of understanding of issues and comedy. What I try to bring is data, facts, and sarcasm, which is satire. Comedy is nice, but I'm not as funny as him. I would have been a much better satirist.
But better looking.
अरे कहाँ सर?
चीज़ है, हाँ.
So there could be issues that are serious, and our audience is absolutely okay if we are serious on those issues. satire doesn't mean that you have to make everything funny, everything light-hearted. Jimmy Kimmel, I still remember when there was school shootout, he cried on his show. And that is absolutely okay, is because we have to get over this anchor ka, मैं tie हूँ, मैं suit हूँ, मुझे सब कुछ मालूम है, I am above. We have to get down to being normal human beings and say, maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't have a hot take on this. Maybe I'm emotional on this issue. And often in many videos, I am emotional on some issues.
Thank you.
Cyrus?
Yeah. I just wanted to add to that slightly, which is I'm not very cynical about this not changing the market. You know, you're saying one is polarized this way and one is polarized that way. I believe there's hope always. A lot of people in India just think with their emotions. It's the way we look at cricket. If Pakistan is playing, everybody's interested. You know, I mean, it's rubbish. Some of the greatest players have been Pakistani players. You can appreciate that. You don't have to get involved in this madness of emotion. So we have to just slowly remove the emotion and get them to remove the emotion.
अरे केस करो क्या बोल रहा है ये पाकिस्तानी क्रिकेटर अच्छे होते हैं केस
One last question we have time for.
हाँ, I mean, let us be.
I want the fellow with the hat.
The question is,
I mean, इतना भी anti-national नहीं होंगे that we over-exceed the time. I mean,
No,
we
he
have to
said there
fight the
is one
system.
question.
चल बे ना. We will fight the system.
Akash, can you stay back? We have to pay for the ceiling.
Hello, my name is Yashodhan, and my question is to.
Love your hat, man.
Thank you. So the question is about while creating any content, how do you inculcate the political satire without, getting a defamation case? Like anyone.
Okay.
So that's what,
Because he got
what
one.
I would like
Do
to ask.
any of you have a defamation case?
No, I don't. We are
let me-
very
Is
careful.
there any smart way or something hack like?
There is no 100% guarantee.
Yeah.
If you can finish law degree, engineering, wo kar lo. Okay?
Got it.
Very often we are here because we couldn't do any other work. Remember that also. There is no, because in India we don't know who you're offending. Everyone takes offense about, I mean, there's no book of offense. Ye mat karo, ye paap hai, ye gunnah hai, ye wrong hai. There's no list. I wish there was. Sometimes we talk about this. Please government, please building panchayat, give us your rules so we can follow it. You know, whatever it is. No parking in front of the gate. Mummy can only wear short skirts because she's good looking. Whatever it is. No, hello, South Bombay alag hai.
So it's so confusing, right? अरे तुम बोल दो एक बार नोटिफिकेशन निकाल दो आर्टिकल 56 बात नहीं करनी है तो हम नहीं बात करेंगे लेकिन the thing is that anything or everything can be taken as an offense. Don't forget, Mohammad Zubair was put behind bars not because of his fact checking or even for the whole Nupur Sharma case, for a meme. A 1983 movie, a 4-year-old meme out of that. So anything can be used.
Oh,
against
real ka bacha.
real and meme, bach ke rehna. But I can assure you one thing, any information that we put out is researched, published from a good source-based information. That is what has kept us safe till now. But as he said, there are no
Akash
guarantees.
also has a studio in Dhaka, Bangladesh, where he can peacefully do whatever he wants to.
And Islamabad. And
Islamabad mat bolo yaar. Ek baar bach gaya yaar.
Okay, as the only person on stage who actually has a defamation case. So one thing that I've noticed and over a period of time working in parliament and working with politicians is that, whenever there is an authority in power, they will try to use the law in their favor. The funny thing is the UPA also used it, the NDA is also using it. Those are the same laws, right? Like back then they were the same laws, now they are the same laws. All of them are flawed. Our defamation law is garbage. Like you can file a defamation case against someone in multiple courts and you can actually force the person to travel from court to court to court to court and bankrupt them. Like it's a slap suit. You can check it out. So the main thing that we
Maybe
need to
that's
talk about...
Yashodhan's plan.
Yeah?
That's his plan.
there could be a defamation case on this conversation.
There should be.
That's easy. It's as easy as that.
I'll bear witness, Sarji.
No, but the question then you can ask there is that why is there no reform of the defamation law?
Yeah.
Why is there no standards of what defamation means and what doesn't, right? मेरे पे 100 करोड़ का defamation case क्यों है? I don't understand. मेरे पास थोड़ी 100 करोड़ रुपए है, right? And how do you prove the reputation of someone else's which has been hurt apparently because I called a towering news personality a Nagin?
करारे चने वो वाला.
हाँ वही जो भी है, don't mention और भी एक लग जाएगा. So but the point is that nobody talks about reform of broken laws, right? Our democracy is extremely flawed. Our democracy doesn't work the way we want it to, but then find out why it's not working and talk about that.
Okay.
Silence.
No, there's
Silence.
another event and they are running 10 minutes behind.
Yeah.
I'm getting
this-
dirty
अब
looks.
तो कॉलर पकड़ लेंगे.
No, I'm just ending this. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being a part of the first live recording of Cyrus
Cyrus
Says.
Says, yeah. With
Before
Akash.
we go, before we go, I need to do one thing. Okay, I'm going to put the mic at you, right? And you, at the count of 3, you're going to all shout, "We love you, Johnny Bravo." Okay? Okay. Let's do this. Okay. At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
We love Johnny Bravo.
If we can make you do anything, government can easily. Remember.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In, or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.